Ray Whittaker is one of the most beloved members of the Whittaker family, and initially when he was filmed, it shocked us to think how this person can live so animalistic, barking and living in squalor. It's not until we watch more of Mark's videos that we see Ray is happy, and he actually is a lot smarter and more aware than what he shows us. In order to understand this, I'm going to dive deeper into his behavior, and we're going to see how he can communicate despite his obvious bodily limitations. So let's get started. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Here on Mortal Faces, I did do the Whittaker family tree outlining who is who and where they came from, so you can check that video out, subscribe for more videos, and let me know in the comments who you want to see next. Ray was born on August 28th, 1953. He will be turning 72 next year. Mark explains in his initial encounter, seeing him barking when he was filming him for the first time. Ray ran right up to the camera with his face to the lens as if he never saw a camera before. Ray's parents were John Emery and Gracie Irene Whittaker, two first cousins. Their fathers were brothers, and not only that, the two brothers were related to Gracie's mother Ada, whom John Whittaker married. One generation up, John and Henry's mother was Elizabeth, whose sister was Ada's mom. What's interesting is Ray's brother Freddie was like Ray, except more mellow. His sister Lorraine cannot speak as well, nor can her son Timmy. Barbara was a sister who passed away and was similar to Lorraine. So there is a link, and it's present within the Whittaker family, and that makes this generation so vulnerable. The National Institute of Deafness and Other Communication Disorders had also discovered that there is one genetic variant in particular that is linked to developmental language disorder. When Ray was younger, he was a Tasmanian, angry, running around, screaming and barking. To an outsider, he may seem feral, like a wild animal. His disheveled appearance could also lead us to that interpretation, and when we go see his sleeping quarters and the bathroom, oh, it brings us to this sense of untamed wilderness. Mark's videos revealed a lot more depth to Ray. By listening to the family members who live and take care of him, we can see that their knowledge about their brother is a lot more complicated than meets the eye. Communication. Ray can communicate. He just does it in his own way, a way that he developed himself. Have you heard of this? Apraxia of speech? It's a disorder that affects certain brain pathways. It can interfere with a person's ability to say what they want correctly, even though they understand what you said, are willing to perform it, know how to do it, and have working muscles. If your brain has difficulty coordinating those muscles to work in tandem order, thus never developing or developing with limitations, then within the critical period of a child, which is up to the age of 5, essentially, you may lose the ability to speak or speak properly altogether. It's not that your mind isn't working. It's just that in this case, you can't physically produce words. It's like you use it or you lose it. And that may be the case not just with Ray, but with Timmy, Lorraine, Freddie, and Barbara, depending on how much their oral motor skills developed during the critical period relates to their ability to speak as an adult, and a link with autism or any other underlying disorders may also affect this. So the way Ray communicates is that he has been able to develop grunts, which uses basic oral motor skills. It doesn't require the complicated use of your oral muscles, your tongue, and your vocal cords, which we often take for granted. We see him also having the ability to use the rest of his body and his motor function normally. Grab items, use them, and point with precision. He is aware of what he's doing. So even though he can't speak, his grunts plus his motor abilities enables him to communicate happiness, pain, excitement, what he wants, or things that happened. And he can respond to you, listen, and do what you tell him to do, so his mental capacity is strong. For example, something is wrong with his leg. It's causing him constant pain. A direct way of telling you about it is by grabbing you for your attention and lifting up his pants and pointing to it, accompanied with a grunt. His grunts have meaning. You can hear the tone of a sorrow grunt, a wailing grunt, excited, happy, or just, yes, look, this, neutral grunt. The context shows the meaning, and Ray is aware he knows how to put the context into the meaning. There was a time when he got bit by a snake. He knew what happened, and it could be poisonous. He went and got a shovel and scooped it up, bringing it back to the house to show the others. He pointed to the bite and the snake, identifying that he got bit. And according to Kenneth, he is very aware of holidays, time, place, and celebrations. And I also noticed something very interesting about Ray, which shows his limitations as well. When they were bowling, Lorraine and Ray got excited for the act of throwing the ball on the ground. The second aspect of watching it hit the pins, they didn't quite understand as they would go back to their seats before it hit. Ray knows to take a picture with somebody and can pose, which is a single task, but if we look at purchasing, he knows to copy everyone and put the items on the conveyor belt. However, he took his shoes before it was paid for. It seems he understands part of the tasks, however, follow-throughs and secondary aspects of tasks he doesn't quite grasp. Putting it on the conveyor belt is 1, purchasing is 2. He stops at 1. Much like bowling, throwing it and waiting to see if the pins fall are 2 tasks. He stops at throwing. Or decorating a tree, he puts the ornament close to it but stops at hooking it onto the branch. It's as if one task he focuses on and anything beyond that is not in his vicinity of accomplishments. It's like if he has to urinate, he will find a spot and just go. Where the spot is not too important. He knows to use the bathroom to pee, but if someone is there, he's not going to wait. He will go to the urinal, see you, bark at you, which tells you you're in my way, and in his mind is focused only on urinating and nothing else. You see, Ray is a character with a huge personality and a mind of his own. He knows what he wants and he knows what he doesn't want, and even though he cannot physically speak, his communication skills are purposeful. All you have to do is observe the context and tone of his gestures and you can know what he's saying. And that brings us to the end of this little video. I hope you enjoyed it. You can check more on the Whittakers on my channel. I do have the link in the description. Subscribe for more videos. Each of your subscriptions has helped this channel grow. It allows me to continue making more content for you. Let me know in the comments who you want to see next. I do make a list of all your suggestions and I will see you in the next one.